Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am Ray, and today we're looking at Ultimate Avengers 2. It's an animated movie based on the Ultimate comic books from Mark Millar. It's a kind of a retelling, a reintroduction, a reinvention of the Avengers comic book storyline. It's basically more of a 2012 movie, and it's just a rebranding of that concept. We have the characters of Iron Man, Thor, Wasp, Giant Man, Captain America, and the Hulk. This one introduces the character of Black Panther. So the story goes like this. In 1945, one of Captain America's enemies, I believe it's pronounced Herr Kessler. He is a villain of Hydra, and he's found a way to come to present time, and he's worked with the Chitauri aliens to invade Wakanda, Black Panther's home, hidden city. They kill his father, King T'Chaka, and as a result, T'Challa comes to America to find the Avengers to help him defeat the alien invasion. And that's where we are in this film. It is a pretty good knockout, drag-out fight thriller. But to get into the dynamics of it, let's go to my partner Effie and let's get his thoughts.
First of all, uh, I have to do one correction. I said in our first review of the first Ultimates that I thought Eric Klessler was the Red Skull. So apparently he may or may not. But do you think he might be the Red Skull?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just from what was going on and the politics of it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to blow your mind, okay?
Okay.
'Cause I actually had to do some research on this. So Kessler, he is a alien hybrid. He absorbed the original Herr Kessler, and
Okay.
but he this character was like a super skull where he can like morph into anyone he wants to be. None of the aliens have the ability to become anybody else but Kessler.
You're right. Wow.
Right. So he was like the super hybrid of the Chitauri race. So
Right.
he's one of the leaders of the Chitauri race.
Okay.
Now, the actual Red Skull there in the Ultimate Comics, there is a Red Skull, but believe it or not, in this world, he's the son of Captain America.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
So the scene where when Captain America goes and fights Kessler on top of the rocket and the rocket blows up,
Mhm.
before he went on that mission, he was with a fiance. Her name was Gail Richards,
Oh.
and she fell pregnant the night before he went on his mission.
Oh, wow.
So, and they gave birth. She gave birth to a son. Now, because it was a son that wasn't out of wedlock, it's kind of back then it was kind of looked frowned upon,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Well, the government knew he would have the super soldier serum in the child, so which he did, and
Oh.
so they took the child and raised the child in a military bunker and trained him to the point where he exceeded Steve Rogers' ability in terms of like strength level, strategies, military operations, stats, like all in all levels of military function, combat. He became a superior like soldier.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And then on his 17th birthday, he planned his escape. He killed, I think, 246 members on the base, so there'd be no living traces to know his existence. So he wiped out everyone. He planned it
Oh,
all. And
okay.
yeah, and then and just because I guess he kind of resented his father, he took a knife to his face and cut off all the flesh from his skin, all the cartilage, all the
Oh,
tissue, and that's why he is a Red Skull.
wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
So, and because he has that super soldier serum in him, because he can regenerate, he can heal himself. That serum also slowed down the aging process. So when Captain America was thawed out, Red Skull was still pretty much around and still strong and active. Though he
Okay.
is, and then when they met in the comic books, he was actually stronger than Captain America.
Oh,
So that's something I didn't know, which kind of blew my mind. So,
interesting. Cool.
but that's not at all explored in the cartoon. So Kessler in the cartoon is Kessler, who was an agent of Hydra who got killed but became a alien being. So
Uh,
there you go.
awesome. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, did not know that, but that kind of like blew my head. Like, wow, that's incredible. Okay, so what did you find discouraging and what did you find exciting about this animation?
Well, they killed. They killed Ant-Man.
Right.
That
Well,
was sad.
mhm.
They're in love and this, but I don't know why they did that. But other than that, I liked it.
Okay. Well, okay. Here's the thing I'm going to talk to you about because this is an issue that I thought. Well, this is in your wheelhouse because okay. So Hank Pym is a genius, but emotionally he's like really unstable.
I know, yeah.
You know, and
Moody.
who? Sorry,
He's moody.
moody is one way of saying it. Yeah. Um, so how would you break down the character then in the context of this movie? Like, how bad is he towards the team? Like, how bad of him? Like, how bad do you think this character is to have? Like, because the way he is with his wife is questionable. The way he's with his team is questionable. The risk he does to himself at like his own health
Yeah.
is very disturbing. So in
Yeah.
your
Very nice. Just
Mhm.
thinks of himself. Yells at his wife. He's got issues, man.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Uh, I was thinking, yeah, all right. Because I thought maybe because the I'll leave it at that because I just think I think he's a danger to the team.
Yeah.
I just think he's just my initial thoughts of him is just that when like he prefers to be big. Looking at being small, in his opinion now, is a negative thought. You
Yeah.
know, there are things that they do like he does is like he's dismissive in the war room.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah, he wants to start a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you think he might have been abusive to Janet, to the wife
Prob off off
off camera?
off camera? Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
uh, yeah. So I just thought maybe it was a little strange. Uh, okay, now here's the one question I'll ask you: Banner, the Hulk. Where do you think? Because I mean, his character you don't really see that much. So where do you think this character ends off or goes from here?
Um,
Because it's all hypothetical. Like, well, what? Like,
yeah, why I think he ends up. Um, I don't know, probably a lonely character.
Mhm.
Doesn't really care about anybody. He just feels sorry for himself and yeah, one of the just lonely, frustrated people.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah, you know. But still, it was a good. I like the character. I like this. I like the series. After all, or this movie rather. I still liked it. Do you
Okay.
have anything to add or say or?
Yeah. All right. So one of the things when I opened up the intro of this, I should have clarified this, is that uh, T'Challa approached the Avengers first to get information on Kessler because he wanted to know how to kill the character because this character is pretty much unkillable.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
as we know, Wakanda is very autonomous. They like their privacy.
Yeah.
So the Avengers, realizing that the T'Chaka is dead, Kessler and the Chitauri's back on Earth want to get involved, right? Very like pro-American, whether it's Trumpism or what have you. But like even though they don't want their help, they're still imposing their will onto Wakanda, even
Yeah.
though it's a head of state, it's a
Yep.
it's a privatized state,
Yep.
So it's like they're risking war with another country.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, that the American way still has some sort of like they're willing to they're not willing to wait for diplomacy to take part. You
Right.
know? This predates the actual invasion, like an actual
Yeah.
full invasion. So there was no stakes to promote that. The one thing I'll do mention too is that this cartoon, it was given a PG-13, but it never aired on an actual network unedited,
No.
because of the violent scene between Black Panther, T'Challa, and Kessler. It was too violent. What Panther does to Kessler in the
Right.
fight, how he
Yeah.
tears him up,
Yeah.
that was because that was deemed too violent for television. Right. Well, I don't know if I agree. I personally agree with that. When you see what he does to the body,
Yeah.
it's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Do you now this with the scene with Kessler, do you think it's like horror, like that scene where they were fighting Kessler, when it's Kessler in his true form? That kind of remind me of like The Thing.
Right.
But do you think that is portraying horror too much, or is that just suitable for a cartoon?
Um, Maybe went a bit above, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I think it went quite above, but still, for yeah, it was a bit too violent, I found. But like, I wouldn't have a 6-year-old watch it, or
No.
yeah,
You're right. So what would you give it? What would be the age appropriate for the show then?
I don't know, 15, 14, 15.
No, I agree, because even though they give it a PG-13, I think it's the themes here are very, very serious.
Yeah,
Because there's hints of like abuse,
sure.
there's hints of the violence up to others is kind of a little heavy.
Yeah,
Um, okay, my big question here is Wakanda. I thought they really undersold the technology of Wakanda. I thought after seeing Black Panther, and again, this is like okay, this is like several years removed from Black Panther before that's released.
yeah,
So they have no idea of what Black Panther would have been on the big screen. So this is
right.
their
Yeah,
interpretation of it. So, but I'm looking at it unfortunately through what they did with Wakanda when Black Panther hits the theaters and how wonderful it was.
yeah.
So when you see the Chamber of Kings, it's like a little table full of books
I
and
know.
it's true, right? It looked really it undersells the technology. It's supposed to be a technologically advanced world,
Right. Yeah.
and they make it look like a library
Mhm.
uh, with very basic stuff. And then when it comes to organizing the weapons and everything, they're working it out of a spaceship buried beneath the city.
Yeah.
But they never really utilized the technology. They're still using from the ship itself. So when they shot the ship, the alien shot the ship, they stopped all the weapons and defenses of Wakanda.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they didn't showcase the Wakandas as being really technologically sound. They were
Right.
just harvesting what they had around them without learning from it. So I thought it portrays them I thought it portrays them as not being that intelligent after all.
Yeah. You're right.
Um, uh, what did you think of T'Challa in this movie?
Yeah. Kind of like very, very like um, um, cultural, a stereotype of a black African.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Not as intelligent as they were in the movie.
Yeah, and what about like they got kind of the idea right, whereas like the council and him are at odds. You
Yeah.
know, they have a certain opinion of tradition. It's where tradition and the new way of thinking they
Yeah.
clash. You
Yeah.
know, they had that in the movie itself too.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I'm actually answering my own question, so I'll just stop it there. Right. So one thing I want to mention too that's different from it's actually I call it a three-way split. In the cartoons, sorry, in the comic books, uh, Claw kills the T'Chaka in the comic books.
Yeah.
In the movie, he was killed by the Winter Soldier in the
Right.
MCU movie,
Yeah.
and in this animation, he's killed by Kessler.
Yeah. You're right. Wow.
So I mean, either way, T'Chaka has to die, but he dies by three different hands, and
Right.
so and
Yeah.
each one, T'Challa is witnessing his father's death. It takes possession of the throne of Wakanda.
For sure.
Um, Overall, would you recommend this? Where are you on the fence on this?
Um, I
Animation?
wouldn't have like a 10-year-old watch it, maybe a 15-year-old.
Mhm.
It's quite violent, but other than that, it was okay. I'd give it a 6.5, 7 maybe.
Right. I'd give it a 7 too. On our last review on the first Ultimates, we said pretty much it was a somber ending.
Yeah.
I feel the same way with this because as you lead to too. I mean, an Avenger dies at the end of this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what.
Um, Banner is still on the receiving end of being on the I can't say the word. He's on the naughty list still.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's uh, when this comic book was created, it's in response to that post 9/11. So
Yeah,
it dealt with this. So I think this deals more with the collateral damage, like the aftermath, and being owning the responsibilities of casualty.
true. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So I think even when they win, it's at a cost, and when they lose, it's at a cost.
Yeah, you're right.
And so when you and I were watching the first one, because I couldn't articulate it properly, but I probably could do it now, is that um, what you're watching is um, we're having empathy to what we're seeing, because they experience great tragedy,
Yeah.
even in their victory, and then we get to feel that tragedy. So that's why I think we were saying, like in the first one, they won, but I didn't feel. I was kind of like a Debbie Downer. I wasn't really feeling
Right.
that it wasn't joyous. This one, I mean, it's a little bit more positive, but still, I mean, Banner's AWOL, and you have a death in the group,
Yeah.
and there are certain things that go on in this. What I do want to mention too, quickly, is that this. Okay, so this predates Age of Ultron by 6 years.
Okay.
But if you think about it, Thor's character pretty much nails it with the movie, where he's in the Nords of Fate in the pool. He's
Hmm.
actually using audiograms to get like a vision of the future, where he sees the death of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Right, so you're getting some parallel, some overlap in the characters. You're also getting nightmares with Steve Rogers being a man at a time, seeing everyone he knows die, and in the vision that the Scarlet Witch gives him, he sees the death of everyone he's around him, the
Hmm.
soul
Yeah.
he's left behind. So
Yeah.
there are overlaps in it. Besides those two things, did you see any comparisons between the two?
No, I didn't actually.
So
No, I hit it right on the head.
okay,
Yeah.
right. So okay, well that's it then.
Well, thanks, Evie. That concludes our show. I want to say hit subscribe down below. And before I forget, I want to say thank you to our fans who sent us emails and tweets. I have made a terrible mistake these last few months. I mentioned this before earlier. We wanted to review a Phase 3 and Phase 4 film. So send us an email at thepantheonofm@gmail.com, as we are going to be reviewing Phase 3 and Phase 4 movies, whether it's from Ant-Man to Endgame, from Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 2 to Thor Ragnarok, to all of these films. Now we'll be doing Black Widow probably in the year that follows. But for now, for 2021, we're going to be reviewing all of Phase 3 and Phase 4 films individually. We ask you to send us an email at thepantheonofm@gmail.com. Give us just a paragraph or a sentence, just your initial thoughts of any of these movies. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We'll be reading your comments out and giving you an acknowledgement on our show. So if you're Tim from Cincinnati, Ohio, we'll definitely give you a shout out and say thank you and read your comments on the audio portion of the podcast. And on behalf of Evie and myself, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week. Take care.